Good evening. This is the meeting of the Wabash City School Board of Trustees. It's Monday, October 21st at 6 p.m. Roll call.
Everyone is present.
Having a quorum, I'll call the meeting to order. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wabash City Schools provides a relevant and rigorous education founded upon relationships to ensure each student is college and career ready for success in a global community. Welcome. There are no recognitions tonight. Revisions. We're going to approve revision 4.K-M on the board agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the revision, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Consent agenda. We have minutes from October 7th. Claims, donations. We have a donation of $176 from Southside Free Will Baptist, kids in need of lunch money. Thank you very much to them. And we have some items of financials. I'll accept a motion on the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
First, we'd like to start by thanking the Southside Free Will Baptist for their donation to our Kids in Need lunch account. We will move on to our financial reports. As always, we will start with our September revenue and expense reports. Revenue was slightly higher than what we had projected. Our accounts payable expenses were quite a bit lower than projected. This was because we had projected to pay our commercial and workers' comp insurance policy renewal in September, like we did last year. And if you remember, we paid that in August this year. Our salary expenses were a bit lower than what was projected. When you compare these to last year, our payroll was lower, but that's because last September we had a 3-pay month, and our 3-pay month this year was in August. We were projected to have a net loss of $131,000, but we did end with a net income of just over about $282,600. Over the past 2 months, we were projected to have a net loss, combined net loss of $511,400, and we actually ended with a net loss of $234,000. Last year, over these 2 months, we had a net loss of $386,900. So we are seeing some improvements over these 2 months. Like I said, in previous meetings, we know that when we have 3-pay months, we're going to most likely have a net loss. We just continue to really watch our expenditures as we move through these final months of the year. Our key fund balances. Our ed fund is now just a little over $1.4 million. Our operations fund is very close to where it was last year at this time when you factor in our tax anticipation warrants. The upside is that last year, our entire tax draw went to pay that tax anticipation warrant, whereas this year we will be able to pay that warrant and then we will get some money deposited into our operations account. I stated at the last board meeting, we really have to just be very tight with our operational spending. Really, we are only spending on things that we absolutely need. Anything that's considered a want is just going to have to wait. Our rainy day fund has not changed from last year to this, or from last month to this month. When you look at our overall key fund balances, a year ago at the end of September, our key fund balances were negative $350,000. And at the end of September this year, we were just a bit over a positive $848,000. Any questions on those? Moving on to our appropriations report. For education, we have collected about 76% of what we would expect as our revenue. When we go through each of our different lines. Our target for this year or for this month is 75%. So we're at the end of September, that's 75% of the year. We do have a few funds that are over that. One fund that I want to point out, I know that you have asked about it in the past. It is the, oh no, that's in operations. I'll get to that. So looking at the fund overall, we are at about 69.1% spent of our allocations. So we are well below that 75%. So that makes me feel really, really good. When you move to operations, we've collected 85%. Remember, usually we don't, I mean, we're not collecting each month. We are transferring from ed to ops. We only collect small amounts of property taxes each month, but the big draws are in June and December. So in December, we'll get another decent amount put into our operations. Here, we do have some lines, again, that are over that 75%. The one that you had questioned was the 27,200 transportation monitoring services. I dug into that. Not only does that include what we pay for our software, for our monitoring software, our routing software, but that is also where our bus monitors on our special ed buses are paid from. And I'll be honest, when I built the budget, I put that into vehicle operation. So it all balances out, but now we know for next year that that money will be put in that line. So it should not look like it's way overspent. At the end of September, operations is at 77.3% spent of our allocations. So we're just a little bit above that 75% target. So that's where the next few months, we really just need to be frugal and make sure that we're only spending on necessary items.
I mean, nice weather.
Yeah,
Especially in the winter.
yeah, no snow removal.
And no heat, no air conditioning.
And we get another tax anticipation warrant draw this December too?
No, we get all of that in January,
January,
but we
okay.
will have to make a payment on that. But it
Payment.
comes from our tax draw.
Okay.
And so, like I said, last year when we got our tax draw in December, that whole amount paid our warrant. Whereas this year, we're thinking we will probably get anywhere from $400,000 to $600,000 after we make our payment.
Okay, so coming out of where we thought we were gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Remind me, didn't we have a line of credit set up with Crossroads?
Yes, and we
And
did not.
We've
never used it.
that at all.
And when it expired, they asked if that was something that we wanted to do again, and we said no. I have completed the application for another tax anticipation warrant for next year. And then we're working on the cash flow sheet that is due on Friday to the Indiana Bond Bank. My recommendation is that we do go ahead and get another tax anticipation warrant, just because we know that we only get operations money 2 times a year, and getting that to start the year helps us pay those operational expenses from January until we get our first draw in June.
Because of cash flow reasons
Yes,
specifically.
Yep.
Okay.
The last one, we took out less.
right. The first one we took out, I think it was around 800 and maybe 86,000. This year was 400,000.
Are you anticipating another 400,000 or?
I
are you
put
still-
400,000, but I believe we can choose to do less if we feel like we need to. The rate that we get that for is really good, so that's why I feel like just to make sure that our cash flow from January to June, that we have the money to pay our expenses, we need to do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The consent agenda passes. The next regular scheduled board meeting will be Monday, November 4th, 2024 here at City Hall at 6 p.m. There's some items of communications, which is basically just our administrators' social media accounts. There's no old business, new business.
So the following items are all required as part of the bond sale and our upcoming project.
The first item on the agenda is for the board to hold a lease hearing on the proposed lease agreement. If you are interested in speaking at the hearing, please make sure you have signed the sign-in sheet at the back of the room. The notice of this hearing on the lease was published as legally required. We will now open the public hearing. Do I need to read all
We
of
need a motion for that. I motion to open up the hearing for the lease agreement.
Second.
Okay. So can we go ahead and close it?
All in favor of opening? the
All in
hearing?
favor of opening the hearing,
Lease
say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, the hearing is open.
Opportunity for comments.
Comments? Okay, we'll now close the hearing and reopen the regular meeting.
I motion to close the lease agreement hearing.
Second.
Those in favor of closing the hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is for the board to hold an additional appropriation hearing on the proposed bonds proceeds.
I motion to open up the bond, sorry, were you
No,
done?
I was going to read. The notice of this
Apologies.
additional appropriation hearing was published as legally required. We will now open the public hearing.
I motion to open the bond proceeds hearing.
All those in favor of opening the hearing, say aye.
Aye.
The hearing is open. Okay, we will now close the hearing and reopen the regular meeting.
Move that we close the bond proceeds. hearing.
Okay. The regular meeting is now open. Could I have a motion and a second to adopt the additional appropriation resolution?
Close.
We gotta close the
Nope.
meeting.
Did I not close it? Okay, so I'm getting confused.
We're on bond proceeds still.
All right, the bonds
Additional appropriation hearing.
is now closed.
All in favor.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That meeting is now closed. Now,
Yes.
could I have a motion and a second to adopt the additional appropriation resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Could I have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution authorizing the execution of the lease?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Could I have a motion and second to adopt the resolution of reapproving building corporation?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Could I have a motion and second to adopt the resolution assigning construction bids to the building corporation once received?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Could I have a motion second to adopt the resolution approving the second supplement to master continuing disclosure undertaking?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Goodness. Okay, now we're to item H. Board will approve 2 permanent subs at the middle and high school. Positions are 6.5 hours a day for 4 days a week at the rate of $85 a day or $13.08 per hour.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
So there are many days that we don't have enough subs at our middle school and high school. And as a result, our administrators are being pulled to cover classes. By adding these 2 permanent subs at the building, we can use them to cover classes. And when we have more openings, they can cover multiple classes in the auditorium. There still may be days that our administrators may have to assist in the auditorium because there will be 2 days a week that we only have 1 of these permanent subs, but we're hoping that it will be less frequent than it is right now. Once we've done this at the middle school and high school, if it looks like this is beneficial, we may do something similar at OJ. I'm not quite sure if it's a need at LH, but I do know that at the middle school and high school, we have many, many days that we just don't have enough subs.
Are you planning to alternate them on, have one day where there's just gonna be one then?
Yes, we need them both on Monday and Friday because those days probably have higher rates of people taking off. And then one will either work Wednesday, Thursday, and then the other one would work Tuesday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. So
On average, how many subs do we?
it depends. It could be anywhere from one or two. There are days when we have, between the two buildings, we might have 5 or 6 people out.
So if we have one and it's a day where we have both of them,
Then what we
What are
would
we
do
planning on
is we
doing?
would first call OJ to see if they need assistance there and move them there. If they are not needed at OJ or LH, then we will have a plan that they will go and work as a para in classrooms.
And that would be determined by like what is the highest need class for the day?
Yes.
kind of thing? Okay, cool.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Item I, accept resignation from the following classified staff. Morgan Sprague as paraprofessional at OJ Neighbors effective October 4th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
We'd like to thank Mrs. Brigg for her time and service to Wabash City Schools.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Item J, approve the following for athletics for 2024-2025. Assistant boys basketball, Matt Daughtry. Ninth grade boys basketball, Jake Stevens. Boys basketball volunteers, Ryan Carmichael, Phil Kiefer, Tom Wright, Jake Smith, and Rodney Lynn. Assistant girls basketball, Joe Kaufman. C girls basketball, Brittany Cooley. Girls basketball volunteers, Shelby Stone, Addie Rosen, and Abby Walden. Assistant wrestling, Skylar Hall, Elias Kressel, and David Porter. Wrestling volunteers, Tyler Miller, Ross Hahn. Assistant swimming, Tammy Ford and Matt Mindock. Boys 8th grade basketball, Pat Henry. Boys 7th grade basketball, Jeff Maslin. Boys 6th grade basketball, Trenton Daughtry. Girls 7th grade basketball, Jade Stumble. Girls 6th grade basketball, Brad Kaufman. Middle school wrestling head coach, Matt Zickafus. Middle school wrestling assistant, Skylar Hall and David Porter. Middle school swimming head coach, Kim Hodson. Middle school swimming assistant, Tabitha Fairchild. Boys elementary basketball, Jared McKee, Matt Jason, and Tyler Leland. And boys middle school basketball volunteer, Waylon Stenslin.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
First of all, great job reading that list. The only 4 people on this list that are new is Addie Rosine, a girls basketball volunteer, and she worked with us this summer. Elias Kressel, who graduated from Wabash last year. Jade Stumbo, 7th grade girls basketball, who is our middle school librarian. And Waylon Stenslin is new to us with the boys middle school basketball volunteer. Everybody else is back from last year.
Questions from the board?
I'm assuming is it just one or is there 2 that you're connected to?
Brittany and Shelby,
Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. Who's supervising them? If there's ever a need?
Mr. Bloss.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Yep.
Thank you.
All those in favor of approving the coaches, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Item K, approve Isabel Black as paraprofessional at OJ Neighbors at a rate of $11 per hour.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
We'd like to welcome Miss Black to Wabash City Schools.
All those in favor of approving the hire, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Item L, approve the following as online teachers for the 24-25 school year. 1, Mr. Ben Backer as WMS online teacher, and 2, Amy Oswald as WHS online teacher.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Both of these teachers are overseeing our virtual students. They receive $325 per quarter for 1 to 5 students, with an additional $65 per student after 5. These are paid after each quarter and are included in the Ed Fund budget.
How many online students do we currently have?
Mrs. Oswald at the high school has 25, and now some of those students are with us online half-time and then go to Heartland the other half of the day. Many of them do that. And at the middle school, we have 2.
Do they count towards our?
They do.
Okay,
Um,
thank you.
The count.
Yes, they
ADM.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the online teachers, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Item M, approve letter of intent with MCOR to begin preliminary work on the boiler project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
This letter of intent will allow MCOR to begin the beginning work for our boiler project. This includes project development, engineering and design, and equipment procurement. I received this back in September, but I personally wanted to wait until we had made it through this evening. With the sale of our bonds coming up in mid-November, I believe that we're in a good position to go ahead and get moving with MCOR.
When will the boilers be installed? This summer?
As soon as we turn them off,
Since
yeah.
March, the goal is March,
Okay.
That's the deadline, right?
if we don't need the heat.
Yeah.
We have a couple that don't currently work. Will they be able to remove them
They're gonna
earlier?
remove all of them.
Well, I mean, will they be able to start that process earlier since they're not currently? in
They
use?
acted like probably not, because that is really tight down there, and that the other boilers are running. They're
Okay.
gonna have to wait till they're all off.
Okay.
They're gonna take all 4 out and gonna have to remove the roof, so. Yeah, and taking down the stack.
Oh, they're taking the
That's
stack
gonna
down.
change
They
that.
are, but they're gonna wait to take down the stack until school's out, because they thought that'd be safer.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's gonna change the landscape there.
Yeah.
It's gonna look weird.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the letter of intent, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Items from superintendent.
First, I hope everyone had a restful and safe fall break. I also want to say congratulations to our boys cross country team. They placed second at sectionals and will move on to regionals this Saturday at Huntington University. We also had 4 of our girls that moved on to regionals. That is Ivy Beamer, Mia Fairchild, Maya Howard, and Mallory Tart. And this Wednesday is our next Big Idea event at OJ. And starting this month, we are going to open it up to all families in Wabash City Schools. We have shared information about the event through Parent Square and on our Facebook page. So all of our families are welcome to attend and pick up free food items. And we really hope to see a large turnout this week.
Okay, thank you. Items from Chief Operations Officer.
I just want to say thank you to our custodians and Mr. Wilson. While everyone's off taking a break last week, they don't see those guys back at school still working. Jeff's in there working on buses, and Bob and the guys at the high school and Tim, they're all trying to get things cleaned up around the buildings. If you didn't see outside of the middle school, they cleaned up that whole area where they got rid of the Gaga pit and all that pea gravel and got dirt in from the city, and they smoothed all that out over break and put in some snow fence. So they're working still. So just want to make sure everybody knows that, to thank them for all the work they did over break.
Okay. Items from board members. Rod.
Tomorrow is trunk or treat at OJ Neighbors. I have heard there may or may not be some characters from the Wizard of Oz handing out candy, so you will need to come and see who will be dressed up as what. That's all.
I have nothing to.
Okay.
I wasn't here last time, but I really was appreciative of all the board members that were able to make it to the conference. We did miss having Rod there, but I just wanted to say publicly thank you for everyone making that effort to make it out to the board conference, and just all the things that we brought back. Hopefully we can start implementing some of those things moving forward. That's it.
I have nothing.
Okay, and I don't either. So with that, I'll close the meeting. Thank you.
Good stacks.